All right. Looks like we're all here. So go ahead and come all the way flat on your back. And as you lie back, just start to settle into your breath, kind of giving yourself time to transition from your day, from your devices, and just notice how it is that you're feeling, maybe where you're feeling things. Feel the breath deepen into the belly. Notice it in the lungs and the rib cage. And then just check in to see if you can find a little bit of softness through the body. Allow the muscles of the face to start to uncoil and relax. The jaw and the throat. And maybe you adjust the shoulders, kind of tuck them in so that the collarbone is nice and lifted. Allowing yourself to feel spacious through the front body. Let the legs relax completely, maybe even letting them feel a bit heavier, sinking into the support of the earth. With your next inhale, you're going to reach the arms overhead and start to just roll through the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists and the ankles, maybe even letting the rib cage kind of flare up towards the ceiling as you stretch the body. It's one big yawn. Good. And then you're going to gather the knees in towards the chest. Just hug the knees in really close towards the body. It might feel good to curl the forehead towards the knees and kind of round through the back. We'll relax that all the way down. Take the hands right on top of the kneecaps and just gently start to swirl the knees. As we start to move, check in to make sure you're still connected with your breath. And we'll change directions here. We'll bring it back to center. I want you to keep the right leg pulled in, send the left leg long down the mat. Pull that right knee in really, really close. Kind of clasp that grip with the knuckles and hug the knee in. Beautiful. We're going to take the right knee across the body so that it comes just outside of the left hip. Now the knee doesn't need to go down to the ground. It's fine if it can, but it's okay if it doesn't. If this feels good, extend the right arm out, look over the right shoulder. Bring it all the way back in. And we're going to switch sides. Left knee draws in. Clasp the fingers around and hug that left leg in really close. On your next breath, take the left knee towards the right and send the left arm out. We're here for one more breath. Bring yourself all the way back to center. Both knees come in one more time. And we're going to take the legs into a happy baby pose. So you're going to draw the feet like they're facing up towards the ceiling. The knees are going to press down by the shoulders. And then I want you to root your tailbone towards the mat. 3 breaths here. We'll draw the knees back towards one another. Hook the fingertips right behind the kneecaps and give yourself a few rocks along the spinal column. We're coming all the way up into tabletop. So when that feels right, you're just going to make your way to hands and knees. Spread the fingertips out nice and wide and just start to settle here. And move through your cat and cow. Now, breath, you work through the spinal column. And after your next round, we're going to just sink the hips all the way back and come into an extended child's pose. So I want you reaching the arms as long down the mat as you're going to go, and keep the fingertips stand out really nice and wide. See if you can find the breath as it moves through the back body. We'll walk both hands all the way over towards the left. Reach and breathe through the right rib cage. Take yourself back through center and then all the way over towards the right. See if you can find the breath in the left rib cage. Bring it all the way back through center. On your next inhale, fingertips are still spread out. You're going to lift yourself up to a low plank position. So the hips are tilted forward just a little bit, but you want to make sure you're not sinking down too much here. The belly is nice and firm. We're going to take a little baby push-up. So bend the elbows, squeeze them in towards the rib cage. Lift up and press back into child's pose. Inhale, coming forward. Use your breath, bend the elbows, little baby push-up, and take it back. We're going to move through a few just like this. Start to warm the shoulder blades. It doesn't much matter if the movement is on the inhale or the exhale. I want you to find a rhythm that feels nice to your body. And let's take two more, just like this. After you take that second round, you're going to come all the way back up. We'll tuck the toes and extend into full plank here. So I want you to activate the belly, energize the arms, strong through the shoulders. Nice deep breath. Beautiful. On your next exhale, lower flat to your belly. Hands right here in line with the chest, elbows squeeze in. Go ahead and lift yourself up for a baby cobra. 3 breaths. Soften the jaw. Beautiful. On your next exhale, lower it down. Press yourself all the way back into a child's pose. This time, let the arms relax alongside the body. Maybe the knees are even wide for a more supportive shape. You're going to draw the knees a little closer together if you chose to separate them. And I want you to grab hold of the soles of the feet, right at the heels. You're going to lift the hips up as you curl the forehead towards the knees. The head barely grazes the mat. One more deep breath. Relax it all the way down. Let's send the arms back out in front. Go ahead and tuck the toes and start to make your way into down dog. Now, as you come into down dog, I want you to slowly start to pedal the feet back and forth. Want to be easy with this as you move into the hips and the hamstrings. You can shake the head and the neck out. And then settle yourself into stillness. We're going to walk the hands all the way back to meet the feet. So you're coming to the back edge of your mat. Soften the knees, grab opposite elbows, hang here and ragdoll. Relax the arms all the way down. Keep that little bend in the knees, and I want you just to roll yourself up to standing. When you get to standing, let's loop the shoulders around a couple times. Move in both directions. And then settle the shoulders down. Close the eyes for a moment. Feel your body in balance here, the weight in the soles of the feet. The lift through the crown of the head. With your next inhale, you're going to sweep the arms overhead. And you'll exhale, fold. Start to walk yourself all the way out into a down dog position. Take a full breath here. And then roll the body forward, come to the plank. Steady. Exhale to lower. This time we're going to reach the arms back in line with the body. Maybe you clasp the hands together. I want you to press the fingertips of the knuckles towards the heel. Peel the torso off the mat. If this feels okay, you're going to lift your legs off the ground. Soften the jaw, deepen the breath. Exhale, lower. Press yourself back into a child's pose. Feel the breath traveling through the back body, through the hips. When you're ready, you're going to shift yourself up to tabletop. Steady through the abdominal area. I want you to tighten up the belly, and we're going to send the right leg back. Keep the toes on the mat to begin here. So the ball of the foot is on the mat, and I want you just to pulse back and forward a couple times through that right calf muscle. So you're shifting a little bit through the wrists, just easing your way into the right calf muscle. Good. We'll come back to neutral. Energize that right leg, knees and toes point down. Belly's firm. Send the left arm straight out in front of you like you're going to shake my hand. If you're feeling pretty good here, I want you to lift the right leg. Knees and toes stay pointed down. Belly's firm. Left hand comes down to the mat. You're going to keep the right leg lifted, and I want you to point the right toes. We're going to take teeny, teeny, tiny little pulses out to the right. So what these are like little micro movements. You're going to shift the right leg out and then in. Out and in. You'll feel this in your right hip and glute. Good. 2 more. Out, in, and then out, in. Good. Hold here. Nice deep breath. And then we're going to bend the knees, step the right foot all the way through. Coming into a low lunge here. And when you get here, you're light on the ears. Just begin to pulse back and forth into that right leg. The sole of the right foot can stay grounded to the mat, or it can be lifted, whatever feels good to you. The next time you've got the right leg extended, hold there. Let the whole upper body drape over. With your next breath, start to ease back into that right leg. Hips are nice and squared here. Keep the left hand to the mat. Inhale, right arm lifts. Think about squeezing the thighs towards one another, like headlocks. Beautiful. Take that right hand down. And you're going to lift yourself all the way up to this low lunge. Pressing through the top of the left foot, sole of the right foot. We'll take our arms out, and I want you to take the right arm underneath the left and wrap it around, just like we do for eagle pose. So the palms are together. If this doesn't work, you give yourself a big hug. Good. You're going to sink into that right knee just a bit and see how it feels to lift the elbows up in line with the shoulders. Belly's active, thighs working towards one another. On your next breath, open the arms all the way out wide. See how it feels to flex right there at the wrist, and imagine drawing the fingertips together behind you. Both hands come down to the mat. Energize that left leg, extend it fully straight, and then you're going to step yourself back into a down dog. Walk the hands backwards to meet the feet. Let yourself hang heavy here in ragdoll. It might feel good to sway a little bit left and right. Relax the arms down, roll yourself up to standing. Loop the shoulders back, close the eyes, feel the breath. Next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to fold. Walk it back into down dog. Full breath cycle here. And then you're going to roll the body forward, come to plank. Hold strong. Exhale to lower. Arms come alongside the body. Maybe you clasp the hands. Press the knuckles back and lift the torso. If you want to take the legs off the mat, think about squeezing them towards one another. Release it all the way down. Press yourself back into a child's pose. Pause here. Feel the breath in the back body. Maybe a big clearing breath. And then start to make your way back into a tabletop. Fingertips spread out really strong. Belly pulled in firm. And then we'll send the left leg back, toes to the mat, and just start those pulses. Ease into the left calf muscle. And maybe even here, before we go further, you just notice that the belly's still pulled in, supporting your low back. We'll bring it all the way to neutral. Send the right arm out. Maybe lift the left leg. Knees and toes point down. Right hand comes to the mat. Point the toes of the left foot. Check in with the belly. And then take those little 5 pulses out to the left. Take it out to the left and back in. Nice and easy. Out. In. 2 more. Hold it back in center, and then step the left foot all the way through. Finding yourself light on the fingertips in that low lunge, and then beginning to pulse back and forth. As you come forward, you want to make sure that the knee hovers right around the ankle, not the toes. And as you pull back, you want to make sure that the hip stays over the knee, not the ankle. The next time the left leg is extended, you're going to just stay right there. Toes up or down, the whole upper body relaxes. With an inhale, bring it all the way forward. Make sure the hips are even. Right hand plants to the mat, and you're going to inhale, left arm up, big twist. And you want to check in, make sure that all your weight isn't dumped into that right wrist. Give yourself a little bit of support through the core. Left hand comes down to the mat. You're gonna roll yourself up into that lifted lunge. We'll send the arms out in a T shape. This time the left arm comes underneath the right and either big hug or wrap the arms around. Belly's firm. See if you can lift up on the elbows. You'll start to unwind, send the arms out, big T shape. Flex right here at the wrist and see if you can draw the fingertips back. Hands come all the way down to the mat. Tuck the right toes under, extend that leg. Step yourself back into down dog. Walk the hands back to meet the feet last time. Soften the knees, opposite elbows. Roll yourself up to standing. Find that strong mountain pose. Heart space is open. Weight is even between the feet and the crown of the head is lifted. Feel your breath. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale to fold. Walk yourself all the way forward into a plank pose. Hold here. Fire up the quadriceps. Press the heels back towards the wall behind you. Beautiful. Exhale to lower. Send the arms back alongside the body. Maybe interlock the hands, peel the torso up. If it feels all right, you're gonna lift the legs off the mat. Soften the jaw, deepen the breath. Feel the belly pulled in, the pelvic floor lifted. Exhale, release. Press yourself back into a child's pose. Feel that curve through the back body. Allow yourself to deepen the breath into the spinal column. It might feel good to just shift the hips a little bit left and right, just gently rocking from side to side. Over your next few breath cycles, you'll gently start to lift yourself up and come all the way to seated. You're going to want to have your bolster and your blanket nearby. We won't use them just yet. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together for us to begin. And I want you to grab onto the thigh and kind of roll that fleshy part out away from you. We'll sit up nice and tall, maintaining that straight spine. You're going to begin to just fold forward. And we want the heart coming towards the toes. So you might not be able to go very deep, and that's okay. Go ahead and lift yourself all the way up. And you're just gonna flap the legs. So we're gonna inhale, lift them up. Exhale, take them down. A couple just like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. One more time. Now extend both of your legs out. We'll have the blanket next to us. We're gonna pick up this right leg. And I want you to grab hold of the right foot with the left hand. We've done this before. And you're gonna use the right hand somewhere on the right thigh. And I want you just to start to rock that right hip. Now it might be that you can kind of draw the leg in closer with the hands. You might be able to find that foot in the crook of the elbow. I want you to find where you feel that sensation in the hip, the glute, or the low back. Sit up really tall and just rock that muscle a little bit. That left leg is long, completely energized. You'll bring this right leg to stillness, and we're gonna cross that right ankle just above the left knee in that figure 4 shape. And you're gonna wanna encourage that right knee to relax and soften a bit. From here, this might be plenty of sensation. If so, just stay right here. Like if your knee is really high lifted, I would stay right here. If it's settled a bit, you're gonna begin to walk forward every few breath cycles. It might be that you can reach somewhere on that left leg or that foot, or it might be more comfortable just to have the hands spread out. The eyes can be opened or closed. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up. Okay, 2 options. You're either gonna do this exact same thing again, but we're gonna hold it a little bit longer, or you can bring the left leg underneath so that your legs stack like fire logs. Now here's the thing. The right knee is directly over the left ankle and the left ankle directly over the right knee. I don't want the bottom leg tucked in like that. If your knee sits pretty high, which most people do, you're gonna take your blanket or your pillow and roll it up and just give it some support. So I'll give you a second to kind of get situated, either leg extended or drawn in. When you find that, you might need to kind of readjust, find your sit points, and then you're gonna decide if your body feels comfortable folding forward. So if you're in this fire log posture, this may be plenty of sensation. You don't have to go very far. Wherever you are, I do want you to close your eyes this time and really focus on the flow of breath. Maybe even visualize the breath going to the right hip, diffusing any of that tension. Focusing especially on those extended exhales, maybe seeing if you can extend the breath out a little bit longer than the inhale. Check in with the shoulders. Can you relax them a little bit more for these last few breaths? Start to ease yourself all the way up. Support yourself as you kind of unwind. Maybe the soles of the feet come down to the earth and you just swish the knees a time or two. Bring it back to center. Both legs are going to extend all the way out. And we're going to take this left leg, draw it in. Find whatever that placement is, and then energize the right leg. So you're going to start to rock. Breathing into that left hip this time, and seeing if you can maintain that extension through the spinal column. So don't let yourself curve and round into this. Just a couple more breaths. Bring it all the way back to center. We're going to take the left ankle, cross it just above the right knee. Find that figure four shape, let the left leg settle. Link through the spine, and then maybe we forward fold just a bit. That right leg is still engaged, so flex strong through that foot. Inhale, lift yourself up. Now make that choice of which direction you want to go. If you want to see how it feels on this side, just make sure that knee to ankle, ankle to knee are directly in line with one another, like fire logs kind of stacked. And then if you need to use the blanket, tuck it under that left knee. You can do that. Find your seat, sit up nice and tall. Let the eyes close, find your breath, and then begin to inch your body forward if and when it feels right. Where can you soften your body? Let yourself melt into this a little bit deeper. Maybe you take your exhales a little bit longer for these last few breath cycles. And then gently, gently, gently begin to ease yourself up. We'll set the blanket aside. Take the soles of the feet back to the mat, and one more time, just swish the knees. Let the legs come out wide. Just a couple breaths here in a counter pose. I want you to flex the feet. Knees point straight up. Heart and chest are open. And just inch yourself into the deepest variation you can find with the heart space open. Give yourself 3 big clearing breaths right here. In through the nose, big sigh out. 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. Lift yourself all the way up. We're going to grab your pillow or your bolster and place it behind you. And if you'd like to take your blanket or towel, whatever you're using, and roll it up so it can either support underneath the knees or with the soles of the feet together, you take the blanket on top of the feet and then you tuck it underneath the hips. So I want you to choose whichever one feels right for you. And when you do, you're going to come all the way flat on your back on the bolster. And I want to make sure there's just a little bit of space between the tailbone and the bolster. So maybe you could place your hands in between the bolster and your spine. And then from there, extend the arms all the way out in a big either T or Y shape. And let's just take a few deep breaths here. Breathing into the chest, the heart space. You're going to take your right hand and bring it over to your left shoulder. And I want you just to start to squeeze on that left shoulder, giving yourself a little bit of self-massage. Just kind of working your way into that shoulder muscle. And maybe easing your way up the left side of the neck as well. And then take the left hand over to the right shoulder and just start to squeeze on that shoulder joint. Maybe work your way up the side of the neck. And then take both hands, the right hand to the right side of the neck, the left hand to the left side of the neck. You kind of press your fingers around the base of your head, kind of where the head and the neck meet, the occipital ridge. And maybe bring the fingertips around by the jaw muscle and just draw little circles there. Taking it up by the cheekbones and the temples, all the way up to the sides of the head and maybe even the crown of the head. Just gently massaging. And then kind of tucking the hands right behind the head. I want you to use the hands to lift the head up and just curl through the back of the neck. Give yourself a little stretch. And then just release it all the way down. We'll let the arms completely relax. Let go of control over the breath. And really let the whole body begin to melt into this resting pose. Begin to notice your breath. Maybe just gently let the head roll left and right. Beginning to initiate a little movement in the body. And then you can start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles. And then take your time, start to make your way back to a seated position. Maybe you roll to one side if that feels best to you. Let the hands settle at the heart when you find your way to that seated position. And just scan through the body. Notice any shifts or changes you might have experienced. Maybe offer yourself a breath of gratitude for showing up. And thank you guys. Namaste.